Hello everybody and welcome back to the Maniacal Mini. Do not forget to hit the like and subscribe. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay everybody, so since we are going for the more traditional Grimdark style, we are bringing in Fuegan Orange shade and Coelia Green shade through the airbrush. We are going to come in from the top down first with the Fuegan Orange, hitting all those top highlights, and then we are going to come in from the bottom with the Coelia Green shade, and these two together should blend very nicely. We want to get nice even coats from those perspective angles, just to make sure that everything is looking how it should be, all the shadows and highlights are in the right spot, and then we're going to move on from that point and clean it up with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Okay everybody, and bringing in that 91 isopropyl alcohol. This is a solvent, so be very careful because you can work back through everything back down to the bare plastic if you're not too careful. So we're just going to go very lightly, trying to blend these two shades in together to create that nice filtered effect and look with this ink. Just go nice and easy, guys. Don't force any parts just because you don't want to strip it back down to the plastic, but we're going to go nice and easy and clean up the rest of this. Okay guys, so we're going to be bringing in some oil paints now. I have yellow ochre, burnt umber, and black. These are all Winsor Newton. We're going to be thinning them down with a little bit of white spirit and then bringing it in through the airbrush, as you can see here. We're just going for a nice even coat over the entire model. We are going to skip the swords that he has extended off of him, but everywhere else is free game. Don't be worried if you hit the swords. We're going to clean that up in a little bit, so we're just going to come through now with that. Okay guys, so bringing in just white spirit on a Q-tip, we are going to start working some of this oil back off the model, leaving it in those deep dark recesses. Again, white spirit can start to affect some of the things that we've laid down already, so we want to be very careful in this step and very precise. We want to make sure that we're hitting just the top parts that we're going to be using for the highlights. Anything underneath that, the cloak in the back, we don't want that to look too dirty and dingy yet. We're going to come in with some more effects later for that, but we're just going to continue cleaning this up now and come back in. Okay guys, so I already laid down a matte varnish from Vallejo just to protect all the oil layer that we have underneath, because we're going to be coming through with streaking grime and then cleaning that up with white spirit. As you can see right here, we don't want to clean up that oil that we had laid down earlier, that nice brown wash. We want to keep a lot of that in the recesses, so that matte varnish is just going to protect that while also avoiding a glossy look that you get from any other varnishes. So we're just going to come through now with another Q-tip and some white spirit and clean off some of that streaking grime. Okay guys, so bringing in Brassy Brass from Vallejo Game Air, this is going to serve as all of our trim all over the model. As you can see, it's everywhere. So we are just going to take our time, going nice and lightly. If you guys mess up and get a little bit of that onto the model already, that's fine. We are going to be going over with some more steps later to kind of correct and take care of that. But as of right now, we're just going to continue going over all this trim. So we're bringing in Have Class Gray from Hataka. This is going to be serving as the contrasting metallic to our brassy brass, so it's going to go down on the sword. There's some more buttons in the headpiece, the chain links on the back, any other random little chains and bits and bobs we can find like that, we are going to cover in that Have Class Gray, and then continue on to the next step. And bringing in brassy brass one more time, we are just going to be hitting some of the trim around the sword and cleaning up any other spots, stippling in some texture and stuff like that all around anywhere that we would need it. Okay, so bringing in Techless Blue, we are going to be using this as our eye-catching color. This is just going to be for the banners and streamers that are hanging off the back of them. Just something that will give it a nice little pop at the end. We're also going to be hitting the tassels on the cloak with this, just to give it that nice color variation between the dark, dirty, muddy griminess and that bright poppy blue. So we're just going to continue doing that, and we will move on to the next step. Okay, and bringing in that Have Class Gray, we are going to continue to work on the chainmail that is on the rest of the model. I did lay down some preliminary rust pigment, so this is going to go on top of that, and we're going to further work that down with Rush Streaks from AK Interactive. We're just going to be depositing this in random spots. We want to focus in the deepest recesses, as you can see I'm doing here. Anytime that I do pin wash Rush Streaks, I do kind of like to have it start to dribble down his armor and leave those streakings that you would expect to see from something that has been rusting and been left out in the rain and mud and dirt for so long. And we're going to continue on from that point and bring in some more weathering effects after that. And bringing in Crusted Rust deposits from AK Interactive, we are going to be a little bit more precise with where we place this, because we don't want it to overload the model when we come back later with a little bit of oxidation and some patina. But we are going to move into the base after this, That's just Carrick Stone with some Space Wolves Gray over the top of it, contrast paint. I went box art with it. I wanted to leave kind of that cartoony contrast with the dirty muddiness of the actual figure. But yeah, we will see you guys at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for joining us. That will be the end of our Grimdark Guide series on the Lumineth. Come join us over at Instagram at the Maniacal Mini or the website themaniacalmini.com. Follow us, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Happy painting.